returning to Scram.
People need to understand that they've got basically between 9 and 12 seconds to effect their defense.
Self-defense techniques taught by a former police officer. Plus,
believe it or not, there are still people in Robbinsdale who don't know about the Birdtown Club, and that's just not okay.
How social networks are uniting neighborhoods in new ways. But first, a Golden Valley building boom. Major construction is set to begin for not one, but two large apartment complexes. 12 News Weekend starts right now.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us on 12 News Weekend. High demand for apartments is fueling a building boom right here in the Northwest Metro.
Golden Valley will soon see more large high-rises go up in the city. The City Council has approved plans for two new apartment complexes. The Hello Apartments along Olson Memorial Highway and Liberty Crossing near Winnetka and Medicine Lake Road. While both projects have city officials excited, it will mean the end of an era for a longtime establishment.
There was a lot of history in this building and on this property here.
Golden Valley's VFW Post 7051 is a place where people have gone since 1969 for things like meat raffles and bingo.
We have our regulars that come in pretty much daily.
Yet on August 16th, this gathering spot will close its doors to make way for a market rate apartment complex.
The offer was just too good to refuse. For what we were facing as far as lack of new members, the age of all of us, we're all typically Vietnam vets, so we're in our mid-60s or higher.
Mike Johnson is one of 20 employees who will be out of work.
It's never fun when you're closing down and you know that there's people that rely on this to survive.
In place of the VFW will be a 184-unit building called Liberty Crossing, which also means the end of days for a nearby car wash and a Malaysian restaurant.
Golden Valley has been anticipating some growth for quite a while.
Talked to Golden Valley officials, and they're abuzz about what's in store for the city's future.
The Met Council is continuing to say Golden Valley is going to grow in such a prime location that we need the kind of buildings to support that growth.
In addition to Liberty Crossing, people driving along Highway 55 near the Plymouth border can soon say hello to the Hello Apartments, which will have 172 market rate units and replace an abandoned bowling alley and a shuttered business called Autolux.
The city's been looking for a way to get that redeveloped. Had previous proposals that were approved and then not built, so they were extremely happy to see that turn into something new. I think they view it as a gateway to the city, at that prominent location.
We're going to miss it.
Back at the VFW,
it's going to be tough the next few weeks.
Mike Johnson says it will be tough, but the apartments will be good for the area.
Realistically, yeah, I think it's good for the city.
The VFW will have one big final celebration August 16th. Golden Valley officials, meanwhile, say construction on the new apartments should begin in September and be finished by late 2016.
All the construction this summer is dipping into the bottom line of some Golden Valley businesses. Winnetka Avenue is currently torn up at the intersection of Highway 55. Construction crews are redoing the intersection to improve traffic flow, but it's caused some temporary pain for people trying to access the Golden Valley Shopping Center. It's also impacting business.
I probably am looking at 15 to 20% impact on my, customer counts and total sales.
Our customers are not happy when by the time they get here, they already got an attitude.
Several weeks to go on the project. It's not expected to be completed until late August.
In our Week in Review, more liquor store competition is coming to Maple Grove. The City Council this week okayed a license for Total Wine and More. The chain is known for its large selection and low prices on national brands. The approval came despite objections from competitors and residents who say there is already enough liquor stores in Maple Grove. Mayor Mark Stephenson says it's not the city's job to pick winners and losers in the marketplace. In Robbinsdale, a group trying to save the Terrace Theater presented more than 2,100 signatures to the City Council in an attempt to save the building, though no demolition plans have come forward yet. The theater has been closed since 1999. While City Council members said they would like to see the building come back to life, they point out major hurdles, including the high cost of renovation. And a local brewery under construction in Maple Grove can raise a glass to social media and its crowdfunding campaign to raise money. OMNI Brewing's Kickstarter campaign was an overwhelming success, raising $47,000 in just over a month. That was nearly double its goal. The money will pay for taproom renovations at its location on Deerwood Lane. OMNI Brewing hopes to be open by Labor Day. Well, social media is also playing a huge role in helping to connect neighbors.
One prime example is a very active online network in Robbinsdale, which has helped tackle everything from crime to lost pets.
In the summertime, yards and neighborhoods are inviting places to get to know the people who live down the street. In the winter, though, it's quite a different story.
It was summertime, and we were just, kind of thinking about when winter comes and how we don't see each other, and let's figure out a way to see each other in those cold, long winter months.
So Molly Olson and a group of dedicated neighbors established the Birdtown Club, a social group committed to getting together once a month.
My husband actually brought up the idea of a Facebook page, and then he started the Facebook page, and that's just been amazing.
People started joining, and the Birdtown Club Facebook page took flight. Currently, there's more than 2,500 members.
It feels like it's sort of the first place people go to when they have a question or a concern, when they need a quick answer.
When something new happens, like the most recent Little Free Library, it shows up on the page. But it's also a problem solver.
One of these days I'm going to go through and compile a list of all the, lost Birdtown pets that have been found.
Whatever you would talk about with a neighbor, it goes here, and people respond.
There's people that ask questions that sometimes we'll answer, the city council will answer, or we can recommend people to go talk to the city or who they need to talk to resolve a problem.
But it's not a free-for-all forum. Molly and a team of volunteers set guidelines and check posts to make sure people are respectful.
We're very happy to do it, and we're very proud of it.
The page is a busy, productive place, and members want to keep it that way.
I think that it is a good thing. It can only do good things, and as it grows, we'll continue to do the work that we do.
Community members in Robbinsdale are not alone in establishing social bulletin board pages. Brooklyn Park has a robust page with 3,900 members. Other pages are growing too. The newly established Brooklyn Center page has just under 1,000 members, and Crystal's a new one too. It has just under 300. Coming up on 12 News Weekend, a former police officer finds a niche in helping residents learn self-defense.
Then later in sports, highlights from a wild game in the Legion baseball playoffs.
But first, our heat wave will continue to sizzle into midweek. If you ever had to deal with a life-threatening situation, would you know how to respond?
It's hard to know the answer unless you've been trained. This weekend, Alexander Renslow takes us to a defensive arts school teaching skills to protect yourself and others.
All right, thanks everybody for coming.
At Dynamic Defensive Arts,
You can throw this out of the way as you're making your transition. Just get rid of it.
Jack Pettingill teaches skills he hopes students won't have to use.
When real life happens, we've got techniques that will allow that person to be able to defend themselves and create space, which is our big message. We want people to be able to create space so that they can escape immediately.
A former police officer, Pettingill, opened this school 5 years ago.
Do it. Do it.
The goal is to teach people of all ages techniques that use leverage and redirection of force before panic sets in.
People need to understand that they've got basically between 9 and 12 seconds to affect their defense before they lose about 80% of their strength.
I want to know what to do if something were to happen. Not that I find myself in dangerous situations, absolutely not. I'd rather know something than and not need to use it.
We're going to be performing some of our Scram maneuvers today.
In this class, Pettingill teaches a new form of training he created called Scram.
So you've got to make sure that you're not only keeping their balance, but you're also not tripping and falling.
The program is designed to get someone else out of a high-stress situation.
Scram basically stands for security, control, retreat, and movement. And it's how do you rescue an untrained person, a person that might be, say, frozen with fear. Mark, go, 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 turn. And here we are.
Mark Ford sees use in the skills both personally and professionally working for a security company.
It's smooth, and it allows you to control the situation before the person knows what's going on and redirect them and get them out of danger.
So how this is going to go?
Pettingill believes his business gives people the tools and confidence to respond in even the most unpredictable situations.
So you're going to give that person at the collar.
Pettingill is hoping to offer his Scram training to area police departments as well. Well, coming up, why your lawn may not be looking so hot despite all the rain. Some answers coming up.
But first, Maple Grove High School football players put on their coaching hats at the Crimson Youth Football Camp. That's coming up in sports with Jason Malolo.
Welcome back. Jason's here now at sports and summer, so it's usually reserved for baseball, a little golf, but now we can finally start talking about football.
Yeah, it's amazing because the high school season is kind of right around the corner, but right now we're talking about the little kids for once, right? Players and coaches from Maple Grove High School passed on some of their gridiron knowledge to future Crimson players last week. Around 30 7th and 8th graders took part in a 4-day camp. The youth are learning the basics at every position, with this session dedicated to offensive line play.
We've done a lot of skill and a lot of quarterback and receivers and stuff like that. Now the linemen need some love too, so we're teaching the linemen. So we got some kids who play receiver and quarterback. They're learning how to actually block some people too. So we want them well-rounded kids, and we want them to appreciate all the forms of everything that football offers. So we want them to be able to kind of have a little taste of everything.
In addition to head coach Matt Lombardi, the kids are getting instruction from Crimson varsity players.
I really like it because it's like the people you see in games and stuff can tell you one-on-one what you need to work on, and I think it really helps with your football playing.
It helps you get other training from the coaches and the high school kids. You get tips from them that some coaches don't know, or other stuff like that,
It's been a lot of fun. We've learned about tackling, how to properly run, how to not put your head down, but put your entire body down instead.
This is our first MGYFA senior class that's graduating, so now there's a full cycle that they all kind of appreciate each other and they know what it's about, and so they were those kids, and now it's fun for them to come out and be on the other end of it.
This coming Monday through Wednesday, there will be an evening football camp for 3rd through 6th graders in the Maple Grove Youth Football Association. The Legion baseball playoffs started last week, and we had a good game in the quarterfinals of Sub-State 4. Wayzata facing Minneapolis Post Office in St. Louis Park. The runs come early and often in this one. Minneapolis jumps out to a quick lead on Ryan Martin's 2-out, 2-run single in the top of the first inning. Wayzata, though, would get 3 of its own in the bottom of the first. Jake Marsh drives in Connor Trigstad and Griffin Schneider for a 3-2 Wayzata lead. Bottom 4, Wayzata gets 4 more. Connor Olson lifts a fly ball to left field, looks gone, but it's off the top of the fence. That brings Parker Havlicek around for a 4-3 Wayzata lead. Then Marsh will drop in a hit to right field that scores Keenan and Olson. Wayzata with a commanding 7-3 lead, and they look to be moving toward a victory. But Minneapolis doesn't fold. They get 3 in the 6th, and then in the top of the 7th, Carlton Moeller-Reed is clutch with a 2-out, 2-run single, giving Post Office an 8-7 lead. Wayzata answers back again in the 8th. Olson strokes it just fair down the left field line to score Havlicek and Keenan, and Wayzata goes on to win 9-8. Well, at the recent USA Cup soccer tournament, referees from more than 10 countries and 30 U.S. states watched over thousands of games. Jay Wilcox catches up with a local referee who worked the tournament in this week's Official Business.
This time around on Official Business, we meet a Brooklyn Park man who keeps order on the soccer field, including at the USA Cup tournament.
Shin guard's all good? Yep. Okay. Jewelry's gone, right?
Mike McClanahan's become a fixture at USA Cup. He's a chief assigner of referees and also works games himself.
I've been reffing for 21 years and 20 years at the USA Cup. Started reffing just, my kids both wanted to be refs, and so I kind of tagged along to the clinic. That's fouls.
It's based around soccer, but the cultural exchanges at USA Cup help to make it special.
I think the same thing that makes it special for the players is the chance to meet the international teams and stuff. Makes it fun for us refs too. This year there's 160 international referees here from China and Jamaica, from England, from Romania, so from all over the world, including the ones local. But it's just fun to meet them and to get reacquainted when they come back each year. So.
With players and officials coming from all over the world, there can be language barriers at USA Cup. Interestingly, they don't group referees by the languages they speak.
Absolutely not. We try to mix it up as much as we can. Some of the groups originally asked if they could just be separate, and we said no, the fun for everybody here is you're just in the pool. The tackle in the corner over there.
Mike still enjoys working games himself, but knows the next generation of referees needs to be groomed too.
There is a shortage of referees in Minnesota. We used to have 5,000 to 6,000 referees registered each year, and now we're down in the 3,000s. Yeah, I do think the give back is a good way to look at it. my kids were playing, and I got upset with the referees, and I said, well, shut up and go do something. It's a fun thing to do. It's a great extra job. I don't go to the gym because the gym's here.
For Official Business, Jay Wilcox, 12 Sports.
And McClanahan works youth and adult soccer games in the North Metro area, and we're just saying hats off to anybody who's a referee, right? Because that's a completely thankless job, and those guys don't get paid enough for the grief they take.
And they like to do it.
Yeah.
So we appreciate it.
It's a love, so we all appreciate it.
All right, thanks, Jason. Yeah. Still ahead, have a mysterious brown patch in your lawn. We may know the reason.
We're in the garden next to sort out summertime lawn diseases. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The middle of summer is when you want your lawn looking its best.
But a closer look might reveal some issues that have to do with fungus. This weekend, Mike Johnson goes in the garden to learn how to recognize problems and what to do about them.
Heavy downpours mean more mowing and probably watering less this summer. But there's also the chance for more disease in your lawn, mostly caused by fungus.
Most of them are caused because of the humidity, moisture. The lawns are staying damper longer. That's what spreads the disease.
John Henning of Dundee Nursery in Plymouth says one disease they're hearing about is something called fusarium blight, or brown patch. It makes your lawn look water-soaked in spots and the outer ring turns brownish. You may be able to control it with better watering techniques if the rains will allow.
Water less often, but deeper. A lot of people water the lawns like every other day. They're keeping everything moist, but the roots aren't getting very deep.
Another problem is fairly easy to spot. It's simply called rust, giving your lawn a reddish, rusty look.
When you walk across your lawn, you'll get like orange stuff on your shoes.
Fix might be good watering, adding nitrogen to the lawn, and picking up clippings. If you get mushrooms in your yard, the best advice is to simply knock them off. They can form circles called fairy rings, but even experts say there's not much you can do. But summer patch is a disease that is more serious to your lawn, and a fungicide should help.
But that can actually kill off the root system of your plants. And if you have that in your lawn, you're going to need to put disease control down to prevent that or to stop it.
So what if you can't tell what's going on? The nursery experts say bring in a small chunk of your lawn.
We need a sample of the disease in process. Bring us in a pile of dead grass doesn't really help us a lot. But if we can get something right on the cusp of that problem between the dead, the dying, and the green, that shows us all the signs in there of what's going on.
And Mike Johnson with that report. That's all the time we have for now. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday at 4 o'clock.